everybody, welcome back to my channel. Slightly different setup. I'm just sitting here on the bed. I thought we'd have a little catch up. I thought I'd do a video that I've been meaning to film for a little while. Spill some tea. Hopefully not literally, because it's way too hot for that. I've shut the windows because sometimes there's noise from people walking past outside, and it's a hot one today again. So yeah, I'll try not to waffle on for too long. So welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button, as I always say, but genuinely it is something that does help motivate me and keep me filming. Really gives me the motivation. It's my favourite mug. Not a lot of eye candy today, so this video is basically me sharing with you, from my perspective, the truth about being a YouTuber. And I'm doing this from the perspective of someone like me that has been going for a little while, but I have a very small channel. Let's not, I know what it is, I know who I am. I'm very secure in that now. But I thought I would share with you the good, the bad, the ugly, be really honest and basically share everything. Really happy for anyone to add comments in the section below. Let me know your thoughts, let me know what you think. Any other fellow YouTubers out there, because I know a lot of us watch each other, we're into the platform, so absolutely join in the conversation. Let me know if you disagree with me, because let's face it, we all have our own individual views. Whoopsies, sorry about that, bit of shoulder. So yeah, what I have done using my, I'm only giggling at myself, using my beautiful Hermes agenda cover in gold Togo leather, and my Mont Blanc pen that just goes so nicely with it, and my matching ink colour, is I've done a list of pros and cons. So yeah, the reason for that, and I am going to refer back to this, if you do see me looking down, that's why. My aim, I say it at the beginning, my aim is for this video to not be too long. My aim is for me to stick to the facts and my views as much, with as few tangents as possible. Not making any promises there, because I've been doing this a while, there's a lot to say. Firstly, I'm going to start off with a bit of background. So, when did I start this channel? Some of you may know. So I had a little look, and basically I posted my very first video on the 23rd of July 2017. For context, today is Sunday the 14th of August 2022. So we've been going a little while, people. That was my first ever video, which was a Bulgari sunglasses unboxing, and they probably remain about my favourite pair of sunglasses actually. Absolutely love those, so it's good buy. So check it out. Good old sunglass buy there. How many videos have I posted in that time? A total of 235. So this will be number 236. I will be publishing it in order because I haven't filmed anything else, and the ideas I've got for future videos means I'm taking too much out of cupboards and it's too hot. So this will be video 236. How many views since I started? Well, since I started, I have had... sorry, this is where number dyslexia kicks in. I have had over 1 million, basically. So 1094601. So yeah, so not quite 1.1 million, but we're getting there. So that was, and I did actually put a little post out on my Instagram when I reached 1 million views. That was like a bit of a success. So that's a little bit about my channel. Why did I start it? So I won't go into this for too long, but basically I got myself a little bit into the platform. I was watching other videos. In particular, I remember watching, and no offence to anybody else here, because there's a lot of YouTubers I absolutely love and adore and watch a lot more now. But I remember at the time, I was particularly interested in Hermes. I was interested in getting my first Kelly. It has going back obviously a little while, and I started looking at people's channels that were talking about that, and then yeah, I got myself into watching Claire Chanel, or I Am Crochette, as she was at the time. Gosh, that's a blast from the past probably for her. So yeah, and I was like, this looks fun, this looks interesting. And there were some other random videos, I couldn't and wouldn't name the people, where I thought, oh, actually your lighting could be improved, or you're waffling on a bit too much, or whatever. And then I kind of questioned myself, and I said, well, go on then, Joe. You know what, if you think you can do better than person whoever, pick money where your mouth is, do it. Get yourself a camera, get yourself set up on a channel, do it, put yourself out there, have a go, you know. And so that was, you know, my main motivation for doing it. Plus just having this real passion, predominantly for handbags, other luxury items as well, and handbags, you know, I've always loved, even from when I was not shopping luxury. So it is a passion I've already had, and I guess my husband can only tolerate so much. Every now and again, for fun, we do a little quiz on name the different Hermes leathers, or can you name the Hermes colour of each of the bags I own? It's fun for me. After literally, he'll humour me for a couple, and then he's just like, just tell me. But anyway, it gives me an outlet other than him for his relief and his sanity. And also, I think just, you know, in terms of my personality and my psyche, in terms of, you know, if I find something particularly difficult or challenging, then I want to do it all the more. And I want to do it, you know, better and really, you know, if I have a challenge, I face it head on. That's just who I am. And I guess for me, for one of the key things of this is, I was bullied as a child from when I was 3 years old, and I remember being at nursery and being bullied and actually quitting nursery. I don't particularly like how I sound, I don't particularly like how I look, and I've been bullied for both. So for me, that also was a big challenge, was going, well, okay, so you don't like those two things, instead of hiding it away, let's just put it out there in public, and over 1 million people can see it. But that's who I am. Self-abusive, but yeah, anyway, it's again just me facing up to that challenge, and I'll come on later talking about some of the pros of doing that. Not for everybody, but again, I see it as a pro. So that's for the background. Right, now we have the very long pro and con list. So the first thing I wrote down earlier when I was thinking about this was, it's fun. It is. I get to sit and I get to talk about the things that I love and the things that I'm passionate about. And obviously at the time that I'm recording this, you know, I don't have an audience. I mean, I know you're there now, but in my real time, I'm just talking to a screen on a tiny little screen on a camera. And as people have pointed out, actually at the screen and not at the viewfinder. But yeah, because looking at me is my audience then. It's someone to talk to, as opposed to, you know, a little circular hole that doesn't look back. So yeah, so it's good to talk. And I think when that was particularly true was, you know, in March 2020, when COVID properly hit, and in the UK we went into full-on lockdown, and it really did give me someone to talk to and that outlet and something else to think about. Yes, it's in the world of what was going on and people losing their loved ones or not being able to see their loved ones or travel, and you know, you know, I experienced things myself, so absolutely, you know, handbags is frivolous in terms of that context. Well, quite a few contexts really, but it was an outlet, and it was something else to think about. It was something light-hearted and pretty and fun to look at and think about. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with having an outlet and this little bit of escapism outside of something which is just awful? For me, it was a good thing. It also means that, you know, I'm a very logical, methodical, probably more scientific person by nature, but I also do have a creative side. I mean, don't get me to draw, sing, paint. It's not that creative, but I do have a creative side where I can think creatively. like I say, idea to hand, if I'm painting, it doesn't come out. I can struggle to draw a stick man, I'm that bad. But it did give me a way to exploit that creative side in terms of thinking of content, thinking of ideas, you know, doing the video editing, thinking about when to insert pictures and where to cut things and whatnot. So it does get me to explore that creative side of things, and just really share a passion. However, it is a lot of work. You know, this is one of the cons. It is a lot of work. It does take a lot of time. Typically in life, I am time poor. You know, I work full time, and that's not something that I will be stopping anytime soon, if ever. I'll probably be working full time till the day I drop. So yeah, so it's hard sometimes finding the time. I have a little bit more time now in the evenings because I no longer have a cat on my lap every evening, so I can do editing in the evenings now. It's a lot easier, without feeling guilty that I'm not giving her the time that she wants. There's a cost to it, you know, tripods, cameras, and not, you know, people can do stuff on their phones and whatnot, but I like to use a camera. I find it easier. You know, a laptop to edit on. Again, some people just do edit on their phones, but there can be a cost associated with it aside from just your time. In terms of equipment, you know, ring lights, should people choose to use them. I just shove the camera in front of a window. Predominantly I prefer to film in completely natural light. Sometimes I come a cropper on that on the videos when the sun just comes through and blinds me, or I've left it a little bit too late and there's not quite enough natural light and I actually have to get the ring light out. But yeah, and it's easy, you know, just to, you don't want to get too carried away with the cost as well. And it can be easy, I think, sometimes, particularly when you're part of this world, to get carried away with buying things to show and go, see things, go, oh, that would be really good content. I could compare thing A against thing B. Well, you then got to buy thing A and thing B. As a small YouTuber, you know, you're not going to deal on getting gifted bags. You're buying those babies yourself. So yeah, that can be one of the cons. Going back to the pros, and I have to say the list is pretty even actually. Going back to the pros, you know, I have that feeling of being part of a community, that luxury community. I've made some new friends as part of that, you know, which has been really great. You know, people that I'm very friendly and talk to on a regular basis, you know, Bag Addict 71, Emma Anders Bags, Wild Unfiltered, Bestie Lorna, obviously, Lorna's Style. So, you know, and Amelia Rose's Closet, you know, that they're people that I've got to know through this. There's other people as well, you know, I'm trying to remember, I don't want to misname anybody, but, you know, like Jessie Style is lovely, you know, we both love the Rooley, and there's just, you know, various people that you just message and get messages back, and you just have that shared love, and that's really great, just to just have that enthusiasm and talk about the things that you love. So, you know, there's a few people out there that I have done that with, so, and there's some really lovely ladies that I've spoken to, and guys. You know, GPS is, you know, has some great content there as well. 7RP ambassador. So yeah, so that is great. Talking of which, there are collaborations to be had. Now, these can be good and these can be interesting. You know, for example, I was a customer and bought a Daphne brush, a bit like the GHD Glide, and they approached me and said, oh, would you be interested in doing a video and doing a review on their traditional one? I think it was the Allure, the portable one that I bought, and then they gifted me the plug-in one. I was like, great, this is a company that I obviously like, a brand, you know, that I like, that I have bought as a customer, and I then got invited to a collaboration with them. So it's great, and stuff like that, you know, you get a bit of free content, which is really good. You get to try out new things, and like I say, it's nice to be gifted. It absolutely is. As a small channel, typically, you don't get paid as well. Sometimes you can be, but we're not talking about a lot of money here. So like I say, as a small channel, people that are big and doing this successfully, absolutely, I would have no idea what they're paid, or what the terms of agreement are. I'm no businesswoman, as you can tell. But yeah, so there are a lot of benefits to that. I am a 7 Moo Parody brand ambassador. Now I actually approached them about that because I was just so passionate about the brand, so passionate about the product, that I was like, if I could be a brand ambassador for anyone, you know, Hermes aren't gonna exactly be gifting me bags, you know, within reason, that's who I want. And so I approached them and was lucky enough to get that agreement, and I can't tell you how proud I am to do that and to present their products. I have bought them as well with my own money as well, so I stand by what I say with those. This channel isn't about that, but I will put their details in the description box below, and if anyone does want to use my discount code, it is JoJoLux25 for €25 off 1 or more inserts, or JoJoLux70 for €70 off 2 inserts. As part of that, as part of being doing a collaboration, quite often you can also, instead of being paid to do the content, you can also earn commissions for people from the link. So for example, with those discount codes, if you use them, I get a very small commission. It's a win-win, you know, you get a discount, I get a little something. Same, you know, no more is paid for the product at all. However, with them, collaborations also do have cons as well. It means that you are certainly under pressure to deliver. Absolutely. If you've promised a brand you'll do something in a certain timescale, you need to do that. Now, when you do this part-time, in addition to your normal home life, in addition to your normal work, and for me sometimes that can mean quite long days, you know, 11 hours in front of a laptop. Poor me, but it does mean that I am then time poor by the time I finish that and then cook the dinner and whatnot. So yeah, so that it does give you a bit of pressure. You also need to be really careful because you don't want to take on too much. You don't want to be seen as someone that just takes on all this free stuff. I mean, for me, I'm one of these naturally curious people, so I'm like, oh, that's interesting, I've tried that, you know. But you see, I myself rein myself in. Also, you get asked to try some just obscure things, or you also want to do reasonable due diligence. What you don't want to do is promote something that's got a criminal background, for example, or is funding something which you don't believe in, or that, you know, it does come with risk, is what I'm trying to say. If you are paid, sometimes you have to chase to actually receive the money. And yeah, you just really don't want to compromise yourself. And you also need to remember transparency. So for example, you know, it's easy to get carried away. You know, you do a video, you blah blah blah, you're sometimes so relieved that the pressure's off, that you've done what you need to do. You need to make sure that you remember to put that it's an ad, to tick the little box when you upload on YouTube that says it's a paid partnership and that you've received something to do that video, to put it in the description box to disclose. You know, it's very easy to forget to do those things with no ill intent whatsoever. So you do need to remember that absolute transparency. One of the other big benefits of YouTube is it's an extra income. For some people it's a sole income, and that's great. They get to do something they love and talk about their passion for free, and in addition to that be paid for it. Amazing, absolutely amazing. For me, as an extra income, it's a little bit of pocket money. It's not a lot. When I first got monetized, I remember I was so excited, absolutely, and in my head I was like, if I only earn 12p a month, I am happy, because it's just the whole excitement of it. And it actually was significantly more than that. But I do not earn a lot a month at all from doing this. It does vary month by month. For example, I'll share with you. For example, my most successful month, which was pre-COVID, I earned £138. My least successful month, I think I earned £38. So this is not something that I am going to be retiring or giving up my main job to do. It's a little bit of extra money. And like I say, typically I'm in a mid-range of that. And don't always meet the threshold, put it that way, to even receive money each month. Sometimes I get paid every 2 months because that's how little I make from it. So don't get too excited. You know, this is a whole lot of work for the fun of it, not for the money. A little bit of tea. We're nearly done actually. Let's move on to a con. Frustration. This can be the most frustrating hobby at times. And it's probably down to your individual personalities as well as to how frustrating you do or don't find it. So for example, for me, I really want to do 2 videos a week. And to grow the channel, so I've heard, to read, is you need that consistency. You need to post at the same time, on the same day of the week, at the same frequency. And I just cannot manage it. And I absolutely beat myself up for that. You know, because for me, that's a failure. But I remind myself that this is a hobby. If you don't get any more subscribers, does it really matter? Of course it does. Because that's who I am. But it doesn't, it's not life-changing. You know, it absolutely does not matter. I think one of the most frustrating things is you put hours, and sometimes one video, in terms of the setup, the filming, the putting away, the editing, the uploading. You can easily be, you know, particularly something like a collection video, like an entire handbag collection video, you can easily be 10 hours on that, easily. And then the most frustrating thing is, you know, 1, hardly anyone watches, or 2, from a subscriber perspective, you lose subscribers. So here's 10 hours work and I've lost 4, which is very frustrating, because I think, you know, I've been brought up and very much learned that you get out of something what you put in, and then you put all this effort in and you don't get it out, and it's frustrating. But I very much listen to Wild Unfiltered, who brings me back down and brings me back to going, well, why are you doing this? This is your hobby, remember, this is your passion, this is your love. You're not doing it for an income, you're not doing it for subscribers, you're not doing it as a business, you're doing it for the love of it. So yeah, I do have to remind myself of that. Like I say, it's just about who I am. Whatever I do, I want to do well. You know, if I'm decorating, if I get a little bit of emotion where the gloss should go, I am frustrated. It's just who I am. It can also be incredibly frustrating with the technology breaks. You know, you've been hours, you've done the filming, you're trying to upload, or you've been ages and you've just done the upload and then the laptop crashes or something, and you are this close to getting it out there, to getting it published, because remember, you're trying to get your consistency up, you're trying to get it out there on time, and the technology just isn't playing ball. So that's one of the absolute other frustrations. One of the other ones, I'm going into a little bit more detail about this, and we are getting through the list, so I'm probably waffling on a bit too long, but I just thought I'd give a real, this is real, this is what it means to run a YouTube channel, if that's the right terminology. But it's also very easy to compare this success against others and feel quite inadequate and wonder why that is. I've compared it before. It's a bit like being, you know, at school where you have to choose a PE team, and you're there waiting to be picked and you're picked last. That's what it feels like. So it's very easy to compare yourself against others, and I've done that today. For example, I said earlier that I've been going since July 2017. I've done a total of 235 videos. Now, if I divide my number of subscribers, which is just over 3,500, by the number of videos that I've done, we're talking a growth rate of 15 subscribers per video. that gives you some context. Now I've just picked some randomly, and this is no shade towards them, whatever, they're actually lovely. Whenever we've messaged, she's lovely, she's really, really nice. But just to compare, so this is just a comparison of how successful she is against me. So absolutely wish her all the best, and she's an amazing person from what I can tell. We're not close, but we have messaged. So Je suis Lou. Okay, started on the, well, from what I can work out, her first video was the 19th of March 2019. She's done a total of 203, so 203 videos to my 235. So I've done 32 videos more. I'm not saying they're better, but they're more. Of course they're not better. She's got 69.1 thousand subscribers to my 3.5. So that works out at 340 subscribers per video. And she's, you know, heading close towards 7 million views versus my 1 and a bit million. So it's very easy to do that and go, okay, so why is she successful and I'm not? What's wrong with me? Am I that unlikable? Is it this? It's very easy. So, and my advice to anyone that is starting out with a channel is don't do it. That was just me illustrating what things can be like, and it's very easy even within your own social groups to embrace and love the success of your friends and how well they're doing, but also want to have a bit of that yourself. So yeah, it can be a frustration, and like I say, right up in the back of my mind, it's a hobby. I do it because I enjoy it, and that is why. When I stop enjoying it, I will stop doing it. We have not got to that point. So yeah, that's a lot of the frustrations. I mentioned the extra income, affiliate links. How exciting is it when I put an affiliate link in and someone uses it? It is the most exciting thing. It doesn't happen that often for me, but it's very exciting when it does, because you go, oh wow, someone likes a thing that I like enough that they've actually, you know, used their own money and bought it. Very, very exciting. But it's also a lot of work, and it's also frustrating when you put loads and loads of links to stuff and no one uses a damn thing. But anyway, I've always done links. You know, I've always done links. You know, even when my channel was starting out and they're completely non-affiliated, I've always done it to try and be careful. To try and be helpful, even, not careful. So yeah, but it again, it's just another one of those. The con, most of these things, there's like almost like a pro and a con side to everything. Also, there are affiliate programs that you can join. It sometimes can be difficult to join them. I've been rejected and then accepted, and then again I put the self-pressure on to actually do something and make something of them. You know, it is more work, and I don't do enough on that side. I know, it's my fault. I don't do enough. I just don't. I don't always have the time. And then, you know, particularly from a clothing perspective, I'm not buying enough clothing that's new, that's current, to even show people to say, here's a link. So I'm still figuring out how that works. Because again, when you are a small channel, you've got a smaller audience. So you have a lot less people using those links. But yeah, I'm sticking with it. Right, we're now on to the final bits. So one of the other cons is obviously security. You know, and it can go very wrong. Not so much for me, but you know, you look at the likes of Person Fleek when she did that video about what happened to her at Hermes. You know, Hermes made me cry, and you know, the fallout from that was just ridiculous. Poor Mel. I just, you know, to have threats, and it was just, you know, get a grip, people. It's just, you know, just someone expressing a view. Anyway, so there is that risk. I'm not going to dwell on that, and that's, like I say, nothing to do with me. One of the other cons, which is quite humorous, is I have to wait to unbox things, because I like to do genuine unboxings, and I like to share with you my true reaction as I unbox it. I sometimes have to wait, and I'm very impatient. because it's just so exciting to have a new thing, particularly when it's luxury. So yeah, that is one of the other frustrations. Comments. We're going to finish with comments. So comments can be so divisive, really. It can be so exciting. You know, I remember even when I was quite small and I'd shared a Louis Vuitton bag, and I'd still get some of these types of comments now. It's like, oh, I hadn't thought of that until you showed me, and it looks really nice, and now I want one, or I've bought it, and that. It is, genuinely, it's just so exciting to know, to go, I've made a difference. I've made that person's life prettier with a new item, and it's actually a great feeling to know that someone likes what you like enough and values your opinion enough to buy it themselves. So I absolutely do love that. Also recently, you know, I shared a video about losing my poor cat, and the flood of support that I got was overwhelming. It's probably, I think, about a video where I've had probably some of the most comments, and you know, certainly the most comments per views, and that was so nice. And there's just genuinely so many nice, genuine, caring, lovely people out there. I think sometimes in life in general we forget that, and that's absolutely, that flood of support was so welcome. And you know, I still miss her terribly, but it does help. It's great to have this shared enthusiasm for items. You know, when one person talks about something, oh yes, well, I've got this, and sometimes when I see through the thread and someone has helped somebody else to try and find something or given a view, and I just think it's really nice to have that as part of that community, to have that shared enthusiasm, and also the healthy discussion that it can promote. You know, particularly when I did the video about, you know, whether you should use your luxury items for work or not. And it was a real healthy debate. Everyone was respectful. Everyone had, you know, there was some differing views, absolutely all welcome. And that was really, really good and really positive. There's a flip side to comments. I've written down in my book, I'm laughing, I've written down 3 words. I've written down judgment, perverts, weirdos. So there can be a lot of judgment. I've had judgment about spending money on this instead of spending it on that, and you know, whatever else. Probably no more than you get in real life, but there absolutely has been elements of judgment. A couple of perverts, weird comments. I won't read well, I'm not going to read them out because I probably wouldn't be able to publish this. And then just some plain weird things that I'm like, I don't even know if you're trolling me or not, it's just weird. So there's been some of those as well. I have been trolled. When I was first trolled, I had, I think, 145 subscribers. My channel was so tiny, and I was so upset and so taken aback, because I was like, why are you even bothering to troll me? Like almost like you'd expect, like, you know, if you're trolling someone, and I've never understood it, anyone that does troll, let me know what you're going to gain from it. But I just think that if you are going to troll someone, you do it for someone that's more well known, so more people get to see that, because surely you want it to be seen because you're putting it out in public. I don't get it. Anyway, so I was very taken aback and very surprised and very shocked. And it was really quite insulting. And it took me a couple of weeks actually to bounce back from it. Now I just laugh and go, your problem, not mine. So I guess it's one of the other positives of this, is it has made me a more secure and stronger person in myself. I mean, obviously age does that as well. You know, I'm nearly 45. If I'm not going to be secure in myself by now, when am I? So, and again, I'll share that. You can give me the old comments. You know, and today I haven't even. Okay, we've got a bit of tinted moisturiser on. I haven't gone near the concealer. I know I probably should have done. I'm filming in natural daylight without concealer. Oh my god. But you know what? This is real. This is what it looks like. So, you know, if someone's got a problem with that, then that's their problem, not mine. And I think having that attitude has been a very positive thing for me, putting myself out there, really. It's quite liberating. When I've done it took me a while to build up to, but when I've done like a makeup video, and I know I'm not great at them, I'm trying to get better. But you know, I share without special lighting, without filters, without anything. You know, I will share what this looks like without makeup, and that is quite liberating to feel like doing that. I mean, don't worry, I'm not going to be appearing naked in an FHM anytime soon, We don't need to be that liberated. But yeah, I think with those, just going back on the trolling, I think if you are thinking about setting up a channel, do question, are you strong enough for that? The last thing I think anyone wants to do is to put their mental health at risk if they don't think they can withstand that. And that is my only real warning. I will say as well though that YouTube have got a lot better. I actually, when I was going to share, because I don't delete trolling comments. I'm like, you know what, if you want to do that and you want the world to see what a horrible person you are, do it. I'll leave it up there. And I was going to share with a friend of mine some past comments because they were quite ridiculous, and I actually couldn't find them anymore. So I do think that and I receive a lot less, so I do think that YouTube, this is just a theory, I have no evidence of this, but I genuinely think that YouTube have got better at basically blocking stuff and stopping it. You know, they do have community guidelines, but I feel like they've got stronger at enforcing it. It's just literally my personal take on what I've seen come through. And finally, as a pro, we're shutting the book, you'll be relieved to know, for those of you that are still here. It's also helped me with life skills. It's also helped me to sit here and talk, sometimes in a structured manner, and get away from that fear of presenting, that fear of being seen, that fear of just having to talk to people and to present anything. So I do think it has made me got a lot better at that, and a lot better at constructing sentences, trying not to and too much, trying not to say the words so too much. No, I do. But it does help with that, and I think there's nothing wrong with having extra confidence with public speaking. I think that helps with a lot of walks of life. So I'm still here. I'm still a small YouTuber. I'm still going to keep going for a bit longer. So I guess the conclusion from that is that the pros outweigh the cons. I hope at least someone has found that useful. Let me know your thoughts on any of the topics I've raised in the comments below. And also let me know any ideas for another video if there's anything particular that you want to see. We'll probably be going back to handbags and talking about that, and less chatty, you'll be relieved. But yeah, any ideas are always welcome. Have a lovely day, evening, night, whatever time it is when you're watching this, everybody. And I will see you very soon for another video. Bye.